If you are here today, listening to these words, you've probably already realized that your life has never been ordinary. While many walked a predictable path, you faced falls, silences, ruptures, and difficult choices. Nothing came easily, not because you did something wrong, but because you were being shaped for something greater. The chosen ones always go through denser phases because they carry within them a light that must be refined before it can shine fully. And even without realizing it, you are being prepared in every detail. There are moments on the journey when the universe seems to close doors, change directions, and remove people without warning. In that moment, everything feels unfair. But when you awaken, you understand that it was a test, not to punish you, but to see if you were ready for a stronger version of yourself. When you look back and see how much you have evolved, you realize that every pain was a step upward. Every loss made space for something new. Every difficulty revealed parts of yourself that you never knew existed. And that is precisely what sets the chosen apart. They turn wounds into wisdom. Today, the universe is no longer testing you. It is showing you that you have overcome, that you have endured phases many would not survive, that you finally understand your worth, your strength, and your place in this world. If these words resonate with you, it's because your soul recognizes that something has changed. You are no longer who you once were. You have conquered the universal challenge, and now you are ready to live on a completely different level of consciousness. I am George, and I am here to walk with you through this new stage of the journey. If this message touched your heart, follow the channel, turn on notifications, and keep awakening with our community. Your new life begins now. Evidence 1. The inner peace that remains even when the world is in turmoil. One of the strongest signs that you have overcome a great spiritual cycle is the emergence of a peace that does not depend on the circumstances around you. It does not arrive suddenly, nor does it appear during calm moments. On the contrary, this peace is born after you have passed through difficult days, unexpected situations, and challenges that seemed greater than your strength. Over time, you learn that fighting against what you cannot control only prolongs the pain. That is how you discovered a new way of being. This peace is silent yet firm. You no longer need certainty to feel safe. You no longer need to predict everything to protect yourself. You have learned to trust the flow of life and to walk even without seeing the end of the path. Chaos still happens, but it no longer destroys you. You observe, breathe, choose. You let go of what needs to go and welcome what needs to stay. It is a calm built upon many falls and rebirths. The chosen recognize this peace when they realize they no longer react as they once did. Situations that once threw them off balance are now faced with maturity and wisdom. What once took away your sleep is now understood differently. You see beyond appearances and understand that every movement has its purpose. When this serenity settles within you, the universe understands that you have grown. What once shook you is now just part of the path. It is not escape nor indifference. It is strength. You have become capable of maintaining your center even when everything around you moves. This peace is the mark of one who has triumphed. Evidence 2. Alignment with your essence and the freedom to be who you are. Another evidence that you have passed the great test of the universe is the alignment with your own truth. For the first time, you are no longer trying to fit into spaces that cannot hold you, nor shaping your personality to please others or avoid conflict. You have discovered the value of being honest with yourself and realized that living authentically is the greatest gift you can give yourself. Before, you carried fears, expectations, and the desire to be accepted. Many times, you ignored your own voice in order to be understood by others. Today, you know that it never brought true happiness. The spiritual journey has shown you that your light dims when you live to meet external standards. It was necessary to lose old versions of yourself in order to be reborn as your truest self. Living in alignment means respecting your limits, listening to your intuition, and following paths that have meaning for you. It no longer matters whether others approve or understand. What matters is that deep down, you feel that you are being faithful to what you came here to do. That's how the chosen live, guided by their own essence, not by external noise. This alignment transforms your energy. Life begins to respond differently. More coherent opportunities appear, more sincere relationships approach, and doors open effortlessly. The more you respect yourself, the more the universe respects you. And when you finally allow yourself to be who you are, you discover a freedom that once seemed unreachable. That freedom is clear proof that you have won. Evidence 3. The wisdom to embrace change instead of fearing it. The third evidence arises when you stop resisting transformation and begin to walk alongside it. In the past, any change made you feel insecure. The new seemed like a threat, and the unknown caused anxiety. But after so many experiences, you realize that most of your growth came precisely from the moments that took you out of your comfort zone. Change stopped being a sign of danger and became a sign of movement. You understand that nothing evolves by staying the same. Every cycle that ends, every door that closes, every bond that fades away brings with it an invisible opening. The universe never removes something from your life without preparing something better. The chosen feel this in their hearts. Accepting change doesn't mean being fearless. It means not allowing fear to make your decisions for you. It means trusting that there is a higher intelligence guiding your steps. It means knowing that what seems like disorder now will later reveal itself as an essential piece of your path. When you embrace change, you realize you no longer need to hold on to what hurts or insist on what has ended. Wisdom takes the place of resistance. Maturity takes the place of anxiety. Understanding takes the place of confusion. This deep acceptance is one of the clearest signs that you have overcome the tests life placed before you. You no longer run from the new, you walk with it. Evidence 4. The natural trust in the timing of the universe. There comes a point in the journey of the chosen when their relationship with time completely changes. Before, you felt pressured, afraid of being late, anxious for things to happen faster. It seemed that if you weren't always one step ahead, something would go wrong. But after so many frustrated attempts to control everything, you came to see that life has always been guiding your path with far more wisdom than you imagined. Trust in the timing of the universe is born when you understand that nothing happens before its time. Every door that didn't open protected you. Every delay prepared you. Every detour strengthened you. And when that understanding settles within you, a deep relief arises. You stop forcing situations and begin to allow them to bloom naturally. It's as if you finally accepted that there is a rhythm governing all things, and that rhythm never makes mistakes. The chosen recognize this trust when they begin to feel at peace even while waiting. Anxiety transforms into surrender. Doubt transforms into faith. You learn to look at life with gentler eyes, knowing that what is yours will come. And when it comes, it will come at the perfect moment. This certainty lifts weight off your shoulders. The feeling of urgency disappears. You stop trying to speed up processes that require time to mature. With time, this trust becomes part of your identity. You begin to see signs, notice synchronicities, understand that everything that happens has a greater purpose. Things stop seeming random. Nothing is coincidence. Nothing is a loss. Nothing is wasted. You no longer live chasing the future. You live in the present, building life calmly, allowing destiny to reveal itself without haste. This peaceful relationship with time is one of the clearest evidences that you have triumphed. It shows that you have stopped fighting against life and learned to walk with it. When you trust the divine rhythm, the universe begins to trust you. This alignment opens doors that once seemed impossible. Life becomes less about fear and more about trust, and that trust is what sustains the path of the chosen. Evidence 5. Synchronicities intensify and you understand the signs. When someone overcomes a major spiritual cycle, the universe begins to communicate more directly. Not because the signs didn't exist before, but because now your perception is clearer, more sensitive, more awake. Synchronicities become frequent, almost daily. Repeating numbers, improbable encounters, thoughts that manifest, messages that arrive at the exact right moment. It is as if the universe has begun speaking to you in a silent language. But the true sign of evolution does not lie only in noticing these synchronicities. It lies in understanding them. Before, these events may have seemed like mere coincidences. Now, they have become answers. You feel there is a constant dialogue between you and life. You think of something, and a confirmation appears. You consider a path, and a sign shows up. You ask for clarity, and you receive guidance. None of this is magic. It is resonance. The chosen interpret these signs naturally, not obsessively. They know the universe does not shout. It whispers. It communicates through patterns, repetitions, and subtle nudges. When you see the same number repeatedly, when a phrase keeps showing up, when an intuition is confirmed, you feel that you are not walking alone. That feeling is one of the greatest spiritual gifts a person can receive. These signs arise because your vibration has changed. When you align with your purpose, reality opens itself to guide you. Synchronicities become like luminous trails, showing that you are on the right path. They are not meant to control your destiny, but to affirm your perception. The universe becomes a partner rather than an adversary. It makes clear that it is walking beside you. Over time, you learn to trust this communication. You know when to move forward, when to step back, when to wait. Nothing feels as confusing as before. Life leaves clues, and you've learned how to read them. This attunement doesn't appear by chance. It emerges after you've cleansed your energy, healed inner parts, and strengthened your spiritual connection. When that happens, the dialogue between you and the universe becomes fluid, natural, and constant. Evidence 6. Emotional mastery becomes part of your nature. One of the deepest evidences that you have passed the great test of the universe is the way you relate to your emotions. Before, any emotional fluctuation could knock you down. You felt at the mercy of sudden feelings that consumed you. But as you matured spiritually, you developed a new relationship with your inner world. Today, you no longer fight what you feel. You don't blame yourself for being sad or feel ashamed for feeling fear. Instead, you welcome it. You observe. You converse with your emotions, like listening to a visitor, bringing an important message. This emotional maturity allows everything within you to flow more harmoniously. The chosen understand that emotions are not enemies. They are compasses. They point directly to where there is still pain, resistance, or something that needs healing. When you truly grasp this, you stop running from what you feel. You allow sadness to move through. You allow anger to be understood. You allow fear to be illuminated. Nothing is repressed. Everything is transformed. This emotional mastery is not about controlling feelings. It is about not being controlled by them. You are still human, still feeling, still vulnerable. But now you know how to anchor yourself. You know how to calm yourself. You know when to withdraw, when to act, when to rest, and when to accelerate. With time, this emotional intelligence becomes natural. You no longer react impulsively. You don't create internal storms over small things. You no longer take on battles that aren't yours. Your emotional energy becomes more stable, centered, and available for what truly matters. What used to throw you off balance is now just a passing wave. This inner mastery did not appear by accident. It was born from all that you have overcome. It was born from the difficult nights, the silent crises, the pains that taught you more than any book ever could. It is proof that you have integrated your own shadows and now live from a much higher level of consciousness. That is one of the clearest signs that you have triumphed. You are no longer ruled by what you feel. You feel, you understand, you transform, and you move forward. That is spiritual maturity. That is evolution. That is what it means to be chosen. Evidence 7. Gratitude becomes your lens to see the world. Gratitude is one of the strongest signs that someone has transcended an entire cycle of pain, lessons, and rebirth. When you are awakened, you don't only give thanks for the good things that come. You understand the value of every stage, even the most difficult ones. This happens because you begin to see life from another frequency, where everything has purpose and nothing is truly wasted. In the past, you probably sought reasons to be grateful only when things were going well. But as you evolved, you realize that gratitude doesn't require big events. It arises from the simple act of existing. It manifests when you open your eyes in the morning and feel the opportunity to begin again. It appears in silence, in breath, in a meal, in an embrace, in a lesson learned. Nothing goes unnoticed. This type of gratitude isn't forced. It arises naturally because your consciousness has expanded. You know that nothing is lacking. You know the universe always provides, always adjusts, always returns. There is no longer a sense of scarcity because you recognize that life always gives you exactly what you need to continue growing. Abundance has ceased to be about quantity. It has become about perception. The chosen stand out precisely because of this. While many count what they lack, they notice what already exists. They understand that abundance begins in the mind and manifests in life. Gratitude opens invisible doors, draws in the right people, lights up paths, and dispels fear. It's as if everything flows more smoothly around those who vibrate that way. Life responds more generously when you learn to recognize your small blessings. And the more you give thanks, the more opportunities you notice emerging. Your intuition grows stronger, your energy expands, and you become a point of light wherever you go. People feel your calm, your gentleness, your different way of seeing the world. Gratitude transforms the way you speak, decide, vibrate, and live. It becomes your spiritual language. This is a clear evidence that you have passed the universal test. You have learned to honor every piece of the journey. By recognizing that everything has contributed to your evolution, you place yourself in the flow of life and allow the universe to continue guiding you with wisdom. Evidence 8. The desire to serve and contribute is born from your heart. Another profound sign that you have transcended a great spiritual cycle is the sincere desire to contribute to the well-being of others. This impulse doesn't come from need, obligation, or a wish for recognition. It comes from overflow. When your own light expands, you naturally wish to share what you have learned, lived, and overcome. It's as if something inside of you says, now that you are steady, light the path for someone else. The chosen feel this strongly. They carry deep compassion, a desire to make a difference. even through small gestures. Sometimes it's a word of encouragement. Other times, a piece of advice, a look, a smile, a calming presence. Help doesn't need to be grand. It needs to be genuine. And you have become that reference for those who cross your path. This desire to serve arises because you finally understand that you are connected to everything. The more you evolve, the more you realize that every person you meet is part of a vast web where every action ripples outward. Consciousness expands, and with it, the desire to contribute to a lighter, fairer, and more awakened world. Service also manifests when you share your gifts. Many times you don't even realize that what you do effortlessly is exactly what others need. Whether it's your sensitivity, intuition, strength, experience, or creativity, all of it can inspire and transform lives. And when you extend your hand, you don't empty yourself. On the contrary, you fill yourself even more. This willingness to serve also shows that your energy has stabilized. You no longer help to be accepted. You help because you have love to give. You no longer seek to fill a void. You share because your cup is full. Service becomes part of your nature, part of your mission. This is one of the most beautiful evidences that you have triumphed. Your soul longs to overflow. Evidence 9. The intimate feeling that you are living your best version. The final evidence is not loud, not dramatic, not external. It is silent. It happens within you during ordinary, almost imperceptible moments. It's a feeling beyond words, a deep understanding that says, "Now yes, I am on my path." This sensation does not depend on everything being perfect. It depends on the fact that you have found yourself. The chosen recognize this evidence when they realize they no longer fight against themselves. Life continues to bring challenges, but they no longer break you as before. You face each stage with greater maturity, clarity, and awareness. You feel more centered, more authentic, more aligned with what you believe and desire. This feeling arises when you look back and see how far you've come. When you understand that, even after falling many times, you never stopped rising. When you see that everything that once seemed confusing now makes sense. Your entire story reorganizes itself within you, like a puzzle that finally fits together. And do you know why the Chosen One passed the test? The Chosen One passes the universal test because, throughout the journey, they learn to transform pain into awareness and uncertainty into wisdom. Nothing they lived through was random or wasted. Every loss, every rupture, and every challenge served as steps that strengthened the spirit and expanded their vision. The Chosen One passes the test when they understand that life is not against them. It is shaping, refining, and preparing them for a greater mission. They no longer react as before because they understand that everything has a purpose. What makes the Chosen One victorious is not perfection, but the ability to learn. They pass the test when they replace resistance with acceptance, when they understand that control only delays progress, when they realize that insisting on what hurts is just postponing their own evolution. The universe observes when they let go of what chains them, when they set boundaries, when they choose their own truth, when they stop diminishing themselves to fit into small spaces. That is the moment the test begins to be overcome. The Chosen One passes the test when they understand that their sensitivity is not weakness, but a tool. When they realize that what they feel is a compass, not a threat. When they use self-knowledge as a path and intuition as a guide. They win when they decide to trust the flow of life, even without knowing the next step, because they sense that there is a higher force guiding their journey. The Chosen One passes the test when they finally recognize their own worth and understand that their light was always there, just waiting for them to embrace it without fear. Approval comes when they become who they have always been, but for a long time, forgot. If you recognized any of the evidences mentioned, know that this is neither coincidence nor imagination. They are clear signs that you have crossed deep stages of the soul and reached the other side stronger, more awakened, and more conscious. The universe doesn't give signs by accident. It confirms what your essence had been sensing all along. Approval is not a reward, but a natural consequence of the path you walked with courage, even when you didn't feel ready. The chosen recognize their own transcendence through small things, the calm that didn't exist before, the clarity that emerges after so much chaos, the strength to set boundaries, the sensitivity that once felt excessive, the intuition that now guides every step. When you notice these changes within yourself, you can be sure that the universe recognizes your growth. You have become someone truer, more self-aware, and more aligned with your purpose. That is spiritual victory. Life never tested you to punish you. It tested you to reveal you. Now that you've crossed the densest phases, a new stage opens before you. It requires authenticity, presence, responsibility with your light, and commitment to who you are becoming. You are not here by accident. There is a reason you have reached this point, and there is a mission yet to be fulfilled from here on. Now I want to hear from you. I want you to write in the comments, which of these evidences do you recognize in your life? Which one touched you the most? In which one do you feel you have evolved the most? Share your experience, your insight, and your awakening. Your voice matters, your journey matters, and your testimony may illuminate the path for other chosen ones who are arriving now.